I'm Mckinley Cornwell.
And I'm Meredith Maddy.
And welcome back to What's Poppin', Episode 3, The Devil Wears Prada 2.
To start off, we'll be summarizing the first movie, The Devil Wears Prada 1, which was filmed and released way back 20 years ago in 2006. So it has a lot of the same characters from both movies. It starts out with Andy, who's our main character.
Yes.
She just graduated college and she wants to be a journalist. But the job that she's able to land is at a fashion magazine called Runway.
At Runway, Andy's boss is so mean to her. And she's like so low on the ladder. She's the editor-in-chief's assistant, but she doesn't get to do any writing. And the editor-in-chief, named Miranda, walks all over her, like all the time. Yeah, it's not good.
Like, it is a very toxic work environment. Things Miranda does, for example, is instead of hanging up her coat or handing her coat to someone to hang up, she just like throws it at them. Yeah. Which is funny, but also it's like you wouldn't want to be in that environment if you were actually there. Also, even the other assistant that she's working with, so her and Andy are kind of more at the same level, even though I guess
right. Andy's like the second assistant.
Her name's Emily. They're close to the same level. Even Emily treats Andy just absolutely terrible. It's not great for her.
There's like the whole montage as she's like adjusting to her job, and it's just Miranda dropping coats on Andy's desk.
Yeah.
Like coat.
Yeah. And they're mean to her because she doesn't have the best sense of fashion, and they say she's fat. Like they say that so many times throughout the movie, even though she's
a size 6.
Yeah. And also in that movie they focus a lot on the glow up Andy has like as she works there. So yeah.
Nigel, is that the guy's? There's
Nigel. We love Nigel.
What is his role?
I don't know. He's like Miranda's assistant of some
He works very closely with Miranda, but he's a lot higher up the totem pole, and he helps Andy a lot with her like glow up throughout the movie.
Yes.
Okay, so spoilers for Devil Wears Prada 1 if you haven't seen it. She works at Runway, and she kind of like gains her confidence. Miranda begins to respect her and like really like her, but you kind of don't see it until the very end.
Yes.
She makes lots of mistakes. Like she's just out of college working a horrible job, but she's like growing so much as a person.
And then she eventually, at the very end of the movie, leaves Runway. And Miranda, I'm going to butcher this, but she says something to like a different employer that Andy wants to work for.
Andy has like an application or an interview for a new newspaper job, and puts Miranda down as like a reference.
Yes, and so then Miranda says something about how Andy was like the biggest disappointment she ever had, because she was talking about like she didn't want Andy to be let go, even though she treated her like absolute crap. And at the very end of the movie, Miranda like smiles because of Andy. What was it?
Well, she got her new job. She'd left Runway, and she was just walking in New York. It was like at a crosswalk. Miranda was getting into a cab. Andy was walking, and she just like sees her, and Andy might like wave or something. But then Miranda gets in the cab and like smiles to herself, like.
And they had talked earlier in the movie how Miranda like never smiles, so that was super significant.
Yes.
So yes.
So you have to see Devil Wears Prada 1. I think you could watch Devil Wears Prada 2, but it will really, really like enhance the experience. It would make so much more sense.
Yeah. If you hadn't seen Devil Wears Prada 1 before, you just wouldn't have as deep of a knowledge of the characters and kind of just all the background and stuff that had happened previously that makes like the plot make sense.
Yes. So synopsis of Devil Wears Prada 2. Still no spoilers for this movie.
So something we had talked about earlier, which is really cool, in the real world, the first movie was released in 2006, and then the second movie was released 20 years later in 2026, and that's the same as in the movie. Like the second movie is set like 20 years later than the first one, and you can definitely tell that by the actors. Like they're all significantly older, they've aged, and just the like norms, I guess. Like people act different in the second movie than they did in the first movie because it's like with the times.
Yeah, you can really tell. It's not like how some movies don't really have a sense of time. Like they almost could be any time. Like it's very 2026.
More modern.
Yeah. They talk about AI. Runways moved fully online. Like they still print issue, but early on in the movie they're like, yeah, nobody buys it. It's just for the vibes, basically. I really appreciated how they were very clear with the sense of time. Like, this is 20 years later, and not only the characters, but like the storyline really reflects that.
Yes. Okay, so how the start of the second movie starts off is just Andy has become a journalist, and she has a super like high-end position. But then was she like an editor or something?
She's a journalist still, like she writes, but it starts at an award ceremony, and she wins an award for something she's written over the year.
Yeah, and then while she's there, everyone at the table, which are like her coworkers, because they all work for the same company, they all get like a notification that they've all been fired, and so they're all kind of looking for work. And she gets reached out to, right?
Yes. So like the CEO, the person who owns Runway and like all of the other family publications. Well, we need to backtrack. Yeah. Runway has a problem. So Runway published a story and they endorsed some sort of fashion brand or company. And it comes out that this company is not making their clothes ethically. It's like a sweatshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that comes out, and Runway is in like a lot of trouble, and so they decide they need more like features and stuff to make them like someone to write for them that'll make their company look better.
Yeah.
So then the CEO of the company of Runway reaches out to Andy because like she used to work there, now she's like a journalist, and so she becomes their new features editor.
Yeah, and Miranda does not remember her. Like she's like, who is this?
I thought that she would at least, because at the end of the first movie, it seemed like Andy had left an impact on Miranda, like someone to remember, like the biggest disappointment she'd ever had. And then 20 years later, which granted, that's a long time. And Miranda's really old. Like, we were talking about this also, like the end of something that happened in the end of the first movie is like, oh, she might retire soon. And then the second movie, which is 20 years later, why is she still there?
Yeah, she's still working at Runway.
She looks so frail.
And I don't think it's a memory issue. I think it's because she saw Andy as like below her that she just like banished her from
she just has
her brain.
Huge ego throughout both of the movies. And she does have a super high position. So part of it is kind of like, oh yeah, she's someone who has accomplished a lot, and she
has to work really hard, I'm sure, as a woman in her field to get where she was.
Yes, but also it's just the way she acts makes her not fun to work with. People respect her, but they respect her in a way almost out of fear, not because they actually like her.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, we didn't give a warning yet. If you haven't seen the movie and you want to, leave now. We will be covering the whole movie, so there will be spoilers.
Yeah, we've kind of already ventured.
Leave.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to go back to the first movie. So there's this whole era of 2000s rom-coms, and they all have such a very specific feeling to them. I'd say Devil Wears Prada is one of the big ones because it's kind of a rom-com, but it's mostly about Andy making her way in the fashion world and in the journalism world. And it's part of what makes these movies so fun is because the mission, the stakes, like they're really not that high. Worst case scenario, she could have been fired from her job.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the, like, let's see, what are some others? So
I would say 13 going on 30
is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah.
Or like, what's the other one? Something about a 10. The 10 Things I Hate About You.
10 Things I Hate About You. I'd say 27 Dresses, if you've seen that one.
Yeah. So all of those, I feel like the vibe, usually there's some pretty girl. Sometimes they have like a glow up.
Usually she's young,
like going after a guy. Like the stakes aren't very high. It's a lighthearted watch for the most part. There's a climax,
it's funny,
but it's not like, it's like you know?
Yeah, there's like,
it's like
gentle,
enjoyable. Not you're not like stressed as someone watching the movie, you know, for the characters.
And I think going into this movie, I really wanted it to continue those vibes, just because in recent years, though, there's been less fun, lighthearted movies that aren't super stressful for me as a viewer. Yeah. Do you think that it carried on this vibe?
I would say for the most part, I really enjoyed it. I do think now, like, because instead of it just being Andy's problems, it was kind of the entire company that was involved. Yeah. That put like the stakes a little bit higher, but it's still, I enjoyed it. I wanted to know what was happening next, but it wasn't like someone's life at stake. So I would say overall, yes, it still had that like easygoing vibe. But slightly less.
I would say movie. I thought the vibes were there. What I struggled with more as a viewer, I really wanted it to be lighthearted and silly, and it was very real. As someone watching it in 2026, I was like, "Oh, AI, that's a real problem." That like made me feel feelings, which is the point of movies.
Yeah.
But it kind of brought the vibe down a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, and like the plot being that Runway was ruined because of journalism is less important with the rise of social media. And like there's no print publication.
And the like unethical like working conditions, all that stuff is stuff that could actually happen and does actually happen.
And does happen, yeah.
And is like a serious issue. So it's kind of hard to have that lighthearted vibe like mixed in.
Right.
But I would still say it's more of a lighter watch than a lot of other movies that are coming out now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, should we talk more about like what actually happens in the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Overall, I did really like the plot. Don't go into it expecting it to be light and silly, but it was a really good movie, I thought.
What would you rate it out of 10?
Ooh. Probably like a 9.
Yeah. I think I would do an 8.5 or a 9. I liked the first one better.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's usually how it goes. Usually you expect the original is better, and then the sequel, even if it's really good, it's usually, I feel like, doesn't compare to the first one.
Right. But they're just different movies.
Yeah.
Like I would say this one, there's a guy, but he's very like background. Which the boy in the first one, isn't she dating a guy and then she gets this job and it like tanks her?
Yes.
And then does she meet a guy at her job? She meets a guy through work?
It's fuzzy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever it was, it must have not
It wasn't that important.
Yeah. Same thing with this movie. Like there was a guy, but he was, I don't know.
He was there.
He was there.
It was
for a few
almost
scenes.
like, okay, so Andy's in her 40s, and it was kind of a point where people were like, "Oh, you're such a workaholic, you're not dating anyone." And this guy was there to show that she could find the balance and figure, like, just to make her like less lonely.
He was honestly, I feel like, kind of just there to portray a message almost.
Yeah.
Like he just wasn't important. Like we can't even remember his name. But yeah.
Yeah.
So basically what happens is Andy goes to Runway and she's their feature editor, and their feature department is just not good.
It's not
prestigious. Her office that they give her is super cluttered, and it's clear she's just not very respected there, especially because right from the get-go Miranda doesn't even remember her.
So there was a previous feature editor, and the owner of all the magazines was like, "Get them out of here, put in Andy." And Miranda was not happy about this. Miranda's very salty about it. And which is part of why she got the office, I think.
She makes Andy feel like it's her fault that this other lady was let go when Andy had nothing to do with it. And Andy went in there not realizing that Miranda didn't know that she was showing up.
Andy walked into the office and was like, "Hi, it's so good to see you. Like, I'm so grateful you hired me. I'm ready to turn this magazine around." And Miranda was like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?
Yeah.
You're literally crazy."
Yeah. So basically when she gets there, the features department is in shambles. She starts her work there, and at first she's writing stories that she thinks are good, but they're just not getting views, and they're not helping Runway fix its reputation.
Well, yeah. The first thing she published was like an apology, and it was really good, but it didn't like go viral the same way the like failure did. It was just like maybe to appease reviewers. And then she keeps publishing and getting the story, and she's a true journalist. Like she doesn't really care that much about fashion. She cares about people and their stories.
Yes. That's her whole thing. Throughout the whole movie, she's constantly repeating or going along with the idea that journalism is important because of the people and not necessarily like how much money you make from it or like how popular it makes you. She appreciates journalism because of the way it connects different people who are different. You know? When so much of the world in the movie, and honestly in our world too, have like lost that value, you know? So yeah, should we continue with our summary?
Yes.
So that happens. Also, Emily, we talked about her. She's super important in this movie. In the first movie, she was just an assistant like Andy. and now she works at the beginning of the movie at Dior, and she is like high up there. And one of the first things Andy has to do when she gets to Runway is go with Miranda and Nigel, who's Miranda's assistant, and they have to go to Dior to negotiate something. Oh, negotiate advertising.
Yes, negotiate advertising in the wake of the disaster that is Runway.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know if ironic is the word, but it's like Miranda previously had treated Emily awful. Not as bad as Andy, but it's probably just because she had been there already for a little bit. But like Miranda had treated Emily so bad for so many years.
Yeah.
And now the tables have turned. Miranda is forced to give Dior, I think it's 5 pages of advertising or something.
For free. Yeah, like full page advertisements.
Like she's under Emily's, like before it's like Miranda, Emily, and now it's like flipped, you know?
Yeah, so, but it's even like it was like Emily Miranda, and now it's like Miranda Emily.
Yeah.
Just because the advertisers like paid so much.
Sorry, we just had to make sure the camera was still rolling. Just some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're talking about Emily and Miranda.
Yes, the tables have turned.
Yes. So basically that happens. Later in the movie, so Emily starts dating this guy named Benji, who's super important because
he's like
a lot of
stereotypical money. Like rich, smart, dorky nerd, I guess.
He's kind of oblivious though. He just doesn't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
So basically a lot of their relationship is, it seems like Emily's using him because he buys her a lot of nice stuff.
Yeah,
And at first it starts out as like he buys her like some nice necklace. But then later we find out that Benji is going to buy all of Runway for Emily.
Well, okay. No. This whole thing is crazy. So Andy was the CEO guy. Oh, we need to go backwards more. The dad died. The one who owned the company. Like all the magazines, he died. It gets passed on to his son.
No, but that's like at the end of the movie.
But that's before Emily's gonna buy it.
Sorry. My bad.
It gets passed on to his son, and he wants to fire Miranda. He's like, Runway sucks. I don't want it.
Also, this guy, Miranda is mad because the CEO of the company was going to promote Miranda at his 75th birthday dinner, right? And Miranda's so excited. It's so great. Like she's worked so hard for this promotion.
For years, for so long.
He dies at his birthday party.
Yeah.
He dies right before he was going to give Miranda the promotion. So then naturally, all of Runway like goes down to his son. And so this guy is in charge, but it is clear right from the get-go, he has no idea what he's doing. He not in fashion at all.
He doesn't like journal. He seems like he just is there for the money and because he's forced to be because his dad owned it.
He's like a finance guy who wants to squeeze out like all the money out of every possible thing. So he just always wants to do the route that like makes him and the company the most money. So of course what he wants to do, we find out, is he wants to eliminate all of the journalism from Runway. So he's like, Andy and her whole feature department gone. He's just
Miranda.
He's cutting out the entire budget and all these employees that the company needs. He's like, no, because like we have to pay them. That means less money for us. They got to get out. So he's just like completely. Of course, none of this actually happens. It's just like his plan.
Yeah,
right?
And then Andy finds out. She knows that Miranda already knows. And Andy, being Andy, if you've seen the first movie, well, you should have seen this one. She's like, I'm going to save the day. Classic mistake.
Ooh. So Emily approaches Andy.
Wait, I don't know. No, they're talking about the magazine like going downhill.
Yeah, it's mutual. And then Emily is like, hey, we can work together to save Runway.
And her boyfriend's going to buy it.
Yes. And she was like, what Andy thought was that Benji would buy Runway to like make sure the budget doesn't get cut, and like Miranda would stay in her position
and Andy would stay in her position.
But then she later finds out that she's been tricked because what Benji had planned to do was to buy the whole company but then give it to Emily, his like girlfriend. They're not even married. Not even
been dating for like not very long.
Not very long at all. And you can tell that like,
she just like has him wrapped around her finger.
Yeah, he is like head over heels in love with her, with Emily, and she just likes his money. Like, she tolerates him, but she likes his money. So that's what we find out. It's like, oh my gosh, Emily's been a traitor this whole time. Because for me, as a watcher, I don't know if that's the word, viewer, I was like, I'm so proud of Emily. Miranda was so mean to her for so long, but she's a good person.
She wants to help the company.
Yeah, she still cares about the good of Runway. Like, I was thinking about that. I'm like, go Emily, the whole movie.
Yeah.
And at the end, you find out, actually, she's been scheming with her rich boyfriend that she doesn't even care about.
Okay, and then the twist, it's Benji's ex, right? Who buys the company. So then Andy and Miranda are like, okay, we need to fix this. We can't have Emily putting herself in charge and still firing everyone.
Yeah.
And so their solution is to have someone else, someone richer, buy the company. And isn't it?
Oh, the Asian girl. What's her name?
I don't know. Andy did a feature on her earlier in the movie, and she would not give anyone an interview.
Yeah, for like years, for like 3 years. She went completely out of like
the public view.
Eye.
Yeah. And Andy sets it up so that Miranda can interview her for a feature. And she's talking about how
a super big deal.
Her story shouldn't be because of her husband. Like, her story is her own. She's a girl boss in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the movie, she's back and she buys Runway, and she's going to keep it the way everything has been.
Yes.
Yay!
So that's kind of how the movie ends. I feel like they did a good job. It was like full circle. What?
Yes.
What?
Another full circle moment that happens at the end of the movie is when Nigel, is that his name?
Yes.
Okay.
We love Nigel.
So at the beginning of the movie, you see in the car the CEO and the CEO's kid, and they're in the car
doing at all.
And they're like, "Oh no, Runway's going downhill." Shoot. And they see a video online of Andy giving a speech about how important journalism is right after her and her team gets fired. And they're like, this girl, we need her. We need to hire her. At the end, you find out that Nigel like sent them the video and like a glowing recommendation for hiring Andy, which really just like in the first movie, Nigel's basically Andy's
father
adopted,
figure,
like work dad.
Yeah, because it's like they're friends, but he's like way older than her.
Yeah. And he I would say he adopts her because he teaches her about fashion. He lends her a ton of clothes from like the company closet.
He just takes her under his wing.
Yeah. And then in the end you find out, oh my gosh, this isn't just like a crazy twist of fate. Nigel made Andy come back to Runway. And it's just like, oh.
Yeah, it was him like the whole time. And also a little bit before the end of the movie, basically Andy and Miranda have to leave this big event to go somewhere. I don't know where they were going.
I think they were going to find the girl to buy the company.
Oh yes. So basically they left, and Miranda was like, "Oh, like I can't leave. I have to deliver this keynote speech." And
Nigel, side note on Nigel, he's been by Miranda's side this whole time. Like movie 1, movie 2, long before movie 1, and like she does not treat him very well. Like obviously better than Andy and Emily, but she kind of overlooks him.
She takes him for granted for sure.
Yeah.
He puts up with so much from her.
And he's like locked in, like he knows everything about Runway. He knows everything about the trends. He knows everything about Miranda. Like he's so good at what he does. And like I don't even know what his job is, but I know he's good at it.
Yeah. So basically as Miranda's like, I can't leave. I have to deliver this speech. And he was like, there's someone who can give this speech. And Miranda's like distraught, and she's like, who? And then Andy like looks, and over like Miranda's shoulder, Miranda looks too, and it's like Nigel passionately talking to someone about some fashion thing.
Yeah.
And her like you can like see her heart like soften, and then she goes up to Nigel and is like, you give this speech, like you wrote it, you should know it. And it's just such a wholesome moment. And Nigel obviously is caught off guard and very surprised.
Yeah.
But he also just looks so like honored, and it makes you feel so happy for him.
And he gives the speech and he does a great job. And it's really like Miranda is such a complex character because obviously like she's not a kind person throughout most of the movie. But yeah, she's just a very complex, like she clearly has that good heart, and like she just needs someone to like wake her up sometimes.
And that's kind of who Andy is, I feel like.
Yeah, Andy's like hey, lock in.
Yeah, because Miranda, the thing is, like, she's so mean, and then she does something or gives some compliment. That's not really a compliment, but like it is for her, you know?
Yeah.
And so then you're like, oh, hey, maybe she's not so bad. But then she does something bad again. So it's kind of just that constant like back and forth. Like you can tell she's a good person, but she's deep down. You really gotta search
she's
for
like
it.
I feel like she just had to work so hard to get where she was that it like made her stone cold. Like
that's a very good way to put it. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how mean she is on the outside, especially when some of her kind moments comparatively are so different.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like Well, just to bring it back, all of the characters in this movie, specifically the 4 main returning ones, so Andy, Nigel, Miranda, and Emily, they're all so complex and like really well fleshed out. The writers and the actors did such a great job bringing these characters to life for me.
I would agree. That was a very good way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all we have for you. I'm Meredith Maddy.
And I'm Mckinley Cornwell.
And this has been episode 3 of What's Poppin'. Stay tuned for next time.
We'll see you then.
Bye.